stress in national policy, you must care about the people you are governing.
Right.
Because governance is about the people. The moment you don't take into reflection, whatever that concerns them, and that's why, as I said earlier, most of the government policies are clearly at variance with our lives, with how we live here. How could you say that you are going to deactivate lines of Nigerians from the network, from the phone network, as a result of the fact that they have not been able to link it up to the national database?
Right.
When you have 200 million Nigerians, and I understand that up to other 150-something million Nigerians are actually having lines.
165 million.
Beautiful. And they have not been registered.
No, yeah. So let me put that in better perspective. 165 million are yet to be registered.
About 40,
about
40,
about 43 million Nigerians have registered since 2012, and they want the over 120 million to register in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So how practical is that? Now, as I said earlier, it makes you to begin to wonder whether these people are living somewhere else, not on planet Earth. Because if they are living in the same planet you are living, they will really understand what is actually going on. And then the formulating government policy will actually be reflective of what is actually going on. If you have such a population that have not been registered, what are you doing by virtue of your act as a government official in order to ensure that you have these people in the database? Within which to register and all that, and it's impracticable. So that's why I'm saying that they are not actually reflective of the reality on ground. In giving that kind of 2 weeks deadline, and the man now you said who was interviewed, who said that there's nothing they can do until the 2 weeks deadline is actually exhausted and all that. We are waiting for them to. That's why I had to go to court.
Exactly.
Filed an action in court.
So what exactly? What's your argument? What's your prayer?
Yes, the issue of having a line, a SIM card and all that is a property. It's a personal property.
Okay.
The Constitution guarantees you to own your property, and nobody can take away your property without due process. Second issue is that you're entitled to free expression of yourself as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's a guaranteed right.
Okay.
Freedom of expression. You use your phone to express yourself freely. Use your phone to solve, to enter into the internet and do a lot of activity like all this email, conversation, and most of the things you do. In fact, virtually, maybe let me not be too generous. 40% of our lives now are spent on have a thing that is very useful. It's very important for your living, for your business, for your transaction. And somebody now wants to take it away. It's clearly a violation, clearly a violent violation of your right. And you have a right to protect it, because the Constitution says if there is any likelihood of a threat to your right, either that is real or is threatened, you approach the Federal High Court or the State High Court in order for the court to grant you some of those reliefs, restraining that particular violation of your right. So when that threat, came that within 2 weeks your SIMs will be deactivated.
Some will see this move by yours, Mr. Obani, as overreacting, because the argument of the government is to better protect lives and property for security reasons, and you're going to court, praying the court to stop the government from forging ahead. Do you think you're overreacting?
Yeah, it's a very important question, and it's important we explain this. If there are persons that have been interested in ensuring that there is transparency even in this issue of SIM card registration,
right?
Those of us have been supporting it. We want a situation where these people, the criminals, do not hide under, a situation where it's anonymous. I mean, no proper registration has been done to commit a lot of crime. My client, now the father was recently kidnapped. Okay. And they use some phones that we cannot even trace up to now. So it is important that this registration is linked, for purposes of transparency, for purposes of security. But we must not do it in such a manner that shows as if we are not human beings.
Okay.
That is the position, sir. We're not against it. If you look at my prayer, I was even saying that particular process should be extended. Not that it should be totally, we shouldn't, allow it to happen. No, we want that thing to happen in a country where there is sanity. We should be linked up.
Okay.
That is how criminals can be traced. That is how crime can be prevented. That is how crime can be investigated and prosecuted. We want it to be done, but we must do it with human face. We cannot do it in such a manner that shows that if we are not living here, you are the one who have actually asked us to be registered. And the process you have put in place have actually brought so much untold hardship to Nigerian citizens. And you now want to compound the entire problem. Are you aware also that there is this what they call second phase of their so-called COVID-19, in which the government is insisting on due observance of the protocol? Now, how do you want people now to cluster in order to get registered under these 2 weeks? Because we're even endangering their lives. And one of the prayers is that our lives now is even being threatened. Our life that the Constitution protects is being threatened by this particular order that you have given, that within 2 weeks you are going to deactivate. By the time people cluster and violating the COVID protocol, they will endanger their lives, and then their lives will be taken away contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. That is how it's. So we're not against it. We're not against the issue of transparency. We're not against the issue of security, to ensure that we have people who are genuine Nigerians owning their, SIM card and doing it in such a manner that they don't use it to commit crime. No, we're not against it. But we're saying that it must be done with human face. What is being done presently shows that our government is clearly do not in any way, know our feeling. They don't even know how we live. They don't even care of what goes on. You roll out government policy without, caring what the policy, the impact of the policy on the people you are governing. That is the problem. We're not against the issue of making sure that these things are properly done, sir.
Right. Let's take some calls very quickly right now before I drop my next question. 0700 993 993 993 is a studio line. And please, when you're calling me, turn off your radio. It's very important that you do that so we can have a very clean and clear conversation. Others can listen and hear your contribution as well. And you've got 60 seconds to share your thought with me because I still have a lot to discuss with Monday Ubani. Ade, good morning to you.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning to you.
Yeah, God bless you. I heard all that Barrister Ubani just explained.
Right.
Mama, my position is, and my question to him is, what is the essence of going to court to stop government from doing the needful for Nigerians? Because the essence of the registration, connecting it to NIN, is very, very important. People have been scammed over time. They buy SIM cards, use them. Once they do people otherwise, they destroy the SIM card and you cannot trace them. So now that the government is trying to do the needful, instructing people to connect their NIN to their SIM card, is it very wrong from government to Nigerians? So I want to know the position of the judiciary or him going to court to stop government from doing the needful. Please, can you explain better? And the registration of the NIN, you can do it online. Networks are sending notifications to people how they can do. I did mine, and I've just done.
No, but that's wrong. That's actually wrong, Ade. You are not correct on that. You cannot register for NIN online. You have to go for capture. But that's what we're talking about.
I'm talking about connecting my NIN to my network.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
doing it on all my network.
Oh, yes, we understand that, Ade. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about registration for NIN, actually. But then, Monday Ubani, would you like to respond to what he had earlier said?
I think he was not even listening to the conversation.
I don't think he listened.
The truth of the matter is that nobody's against the government policy of trying to link up the NIN to the SIM card. It is a very laudable position that the government has taken in order to ensure security of lives and property in the country. Nobody's clearly against it. We're saying that the process is wherein you are given only 2 weeks within which to register over 100 and something million Nigerians. Whereas from 2012, according to you, have only registered 48.
That's right.
And so how do you think that within this issue, the time of 2 weeks, you will be able to register over 100 million Nigerians? And then you now go ahead and deactivate them. What does it make sense? Let's be sincere. Let's not all in a bid to defend government policy because maybe we're a member of a political party or we're the one that brought the government into existence. Sometimes we argue without being logical. It doesn't make sense. We are part of this country. We are all part of this government, but we must also be sincere enough to advise the government to do the right thing most times. Anytime they are doing anything, it's about the people. It's not about they themselves. They can easily register. In fact, they can even register them in their homes. And but for you as a citizen of this country, you know the process you undergo to do certain things in this nation. In fact, even to die in this country, you have to beg to die. There is nothing that is given to you on merit. People are paying. People, as I speak to you, people are paying in order to have this particular exercise done on themselves and their family members. People are paying. And now that you want to cluster them within 2 weeks, you can imagine the kind of stress and you are going to put on the lives of Nigerians. And we're saying, look, take time and do this in a manner that Nigerians will not in any way suffer. That's why I'm taking that step. So for his own information, I am not against government actually going ahead to do what they want to do with regards to what they happen. But it is the process now that we're challenging in order to ensure that Nigerians do not suffer in the process.
Indeed. Let's squeeze in another call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Femi from Surulere.
Let's talk, Femi.
Yes, the process has been since 2011, 2012.
Right.
I remember I registered probably 2011. I was in Benin then. I know what effort it took me to go from the University of Benin, Ugbo campus, to where the NIN office was. Very, very far distance. The thing is, Nigerian has this attitude of, if it is not the dying minutes.
If it's not urgent.
Yes. Someone has an exam for 1 whole year, they don't prepare. 2 weeks to exam, they want to put everything in their head. You understand?
Right.
So it is the attitude of the Nigerian that is making things seem as if we are not forced or pressured to do things that will cost us so much.
Right.
We won't want to do it. I understand Barrister Ubani's point, but if they give 1 year extension to this thing, I doubt 1 million people will still register. I strongly doubt, because something has been since 2011, 2012, until now, a lot of people have not registered. I got my NIN then, and you can see how easy it is now to link your name to your contact.
Right.
You can just do it from the comfort of your phone.
Right.
But now, if you don't have that NIN, you have to visit those places physically.
Femi, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll take one, then we'll prepare for a break. Good morning to you. Good morning. Hello, are you there?
Hello, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning to you.
Sorry, you have two people on the line.
It's fine.
Yeah, Sheriff, one of the times I would have dared government directive was on this issue of linking the NIN to the SIM.
You're right.
Because I wasn't going to go to anywhere. I meant it, Sheriff. You know, the first day I called you on this issue, I told you I have 4 lines and I'm not going to go to anywhere at all. Because just like Barrister Bani said, may God bless him, let people understand what he's trying to say. Not that he's trying to discourage people from going or not doing it.
Right.
But the fact remains that if we know the kind of country we are in, the world we are in, this part of the world, even if, like I said, it should be a continuous exercise, non-stop even. Why the 2 weeks? What's the rush? I rest my case, Sheriff. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you for calling me. I appreciate it. Michael is here, though. We have to speak with Michael. Then we'll move on. Michael, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
Yeah, quickly. I think information is very key.
Very, very.
There are a lot of people outside there who are still going to NIMC for their name registration while it has been done already. So I think people need to know that for them to check whether they still need to go to NIMC office to go and register, they should dial *346, like to get their name.
To just know their status
on their phone.
Right.
So those who cannot access the name when they dial *346#, they are those that will now go to NIM office to go and register again. So dialing that particular code is what to give them access now to now link it up to their own network on the comfort of their homes. That's one. And secondly, the registration is very, very key. Like Barrister Ubani is saying, it is very, very important for us to get all these lines connected together, because at the end of the day, the criminals are using this to perpetrate a lot of evil. So I think people need to understand this. And just like the last caller I had said,
right,
about 2 weeks,
right,
they gave to everybody. Nigerians are those that made it so. Because when things are not getting to the end of the period given, many people don't take it seriously. So let's assume they give us 3 months. Many people will not go to register until probably the last month. So I think that's why this is very, very important.
Right.
People are now fighting for an extension. So let Nigerians understand this. So
okay.
It's very, very important.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Mr. Monday Ubani is still with us. Mr. Monday Ubani, thank you so much for staying on the line. You have to please bear with us because we need to head out now for a quick break. But when we return, we'll continue. Before we go on that break, I need to squeeze in some thoughts here so that I don't get overwhelmed by the time we return. Chike Stevens says, to Barrister, you're on point. Why can't the government make NIM's registration easy for people? The NIM's registration wasn't made open to the public back then. We just saw people registering for NIMC under an umbrella at the bus stop like 4, 5, 6 years ago. The governing people of Nigeria should make it easy for Nigerians, like the polling box centers. That's Chike Stephen, who sent that through on Facebook. Oscar Don on Facebook also says, hello, good morning. Seriously, I don't know what's wrong with... okay. Oscar, thank you for your thought. Appreciate it. That message is not for this conversation. We've moved away from it, totally, completely away from it. So I have like a few seconds left. So I'm going to squeezing some thoughts on Twitter. Let's see who we have here on Twitter. Well, I'm seeing loads of messages, but I can't take all of them. So I'm going to have to screen most of them before I even bring them on air. Let's see. Okay, somebody's saying that somebody's mentioning a bank here. I don't understand why the bank, has to come into this conversation here. Whew. Okay, so we're gonna move away now. Barrister Modebani, please stay on the line. Let's go to break. When we return, we have a lot more to still talk about. Lagos, if you are just joining us, you're welcome. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. You can drop your comments there so that when we return, I can take them easily. And if you're tweeting me, the hashtag is Nigeria Info MCF on Twitter. Our handle is Nigeria Info FM. Stay here.
In the information era, facts, events, and news are available at the click of a button. The information flow is enormous, which makes the financial markets unpredictable. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, and most importantly, you need a trustworthy partner that will simplify things for you. Hot Forex is serious about its responsibilities to you. With its origin dating back to 2010, we are a multi-regulated broker with over 2 million live accounts, wide global presence, more than 35 international awards, tight spreads, multiple assets, reliable fast execution, technological innovation, and multiple account types. The Hot Forex team is always ready to deliver trading services and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
Mama Mina won't send receive money, plus to withdraw money for your bank account without card or data. You fit also buy airtime and data or pay any kind bill where you want. Just dial *223# to see the Momo agent when near you. Momo agent. Safe, fast, no wahala.
Lemon Friday.
It's Christmas season and Adron Lemon Friday is here again. This time, it's bigger and better. Now is your time to become a landlord. Enjoy up to 40% discount this Lemon Friday with special goodies delivered to your doorsteps. Buy a piece of land from Adron Homes this Christmas and enjoy mouth-watering Christmas gifts like double-door fridge, Adron seasoning pack, electric iron, blenders, deep freezers, refrigerators, 49-inch TV, 50 kg bag of rice, turkey, vegetable oil, and a whole big cow. To enjoy this amazing Lemon Friday offer, subscribe to any Adron land within our estates in Shimawa, Ibejuleki, Ekwe, Badagry, Imota, Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode, Shagam, Atonta, Ibadan, Osun, Nasarawa, and Abuja with an initial deposit of 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 naira or more. For more information, call this number 0805-625-9683, 0905-897-0587. This is a special Lemon Christmas like no other. Offer valid from October 2020 to January 2021. This Lemon Friday, we move.
Lemon Friday.
Hello? James, look, I'm on the expressway. My car just broke down. I don't even know what to do.
Sorry, you do not have sufficient credit to continue this call.
Oh, please, no.
Why not?
This is an important call.
Then you should have recharged.
I would, but I'm in a position where I can't.
Why not borrow some credit then?
Borrow credit? How?
With Glow Borrow Me Credit, you can borrow airtime and pay later. It's easy. Just dial *321# and follow the instructions.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Glow is always there for you when it matters most.
Sorry, James. As I was saying, my car just broke down now and I have no help here.
Talk now, pay later with Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
Would you like to easily buy airtime, data, top up your electricity token, pay for new meter, renew your cable TV subscription, and pay other bills easily without storage to touch? Yes, you can do all these and more with Remita. You can make payments through any means you find convenient. ATM card, USSD, mobile money, phone number, internet banking, transfer, or even with cash at any bank branch or agent location near you. Indeed, Remita is all you need to make your next payment from the comfort of your home, office, shop, car, or anywhere. With Remita, easy is the new cool. Download the Remita app from Google Play Store or Apple Store or visit www.remita.net to start making payments now. Remita, because payment should be easy.
Everyone has a place they need to be. Everyone has a face they need to see. When you go away, you love to fly, and we fly you safely through the sky. Ticket affordable, city comfortable, we very reliable. We care for you. At peace, our home.
For bookings and more, visit our website today on www.flyairpeace.com.
In the information era, facts, events, and news are available at the click of a button. The information flow is enormous, which makes the financial markets unpredictable. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, and most importantly, you need a trustworthy partner that will simplify things for you. Hot Forex is serious about its responsibilities to you. With its origin dating back to 2010, we are a multi-regulated broker with over 2 million live accounts, wide global presence, more than 35 international awards, tight spreads, multiple assets, reliable fast execution, technological innovation, and multiple account types. The Hot Forex team is always ready to deliver trading services and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back. On 99.3 Nigeria Info. Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, today's Morning Crossfire here on the nation's #1 talk station, broadcasting live from Etime Christian Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria Info station. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. If you're watching on Facebook, please drop your comments, your questions, whatever you've got on your mind concerning this conversation. Let me know what you think on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube as well, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to know that you are there. I will be coming to your WhatsApp messages. I'm seeing all of them. I will try and take your questions for Mr. Monday Ubani this morning. Just keep them coming in. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. Mr. Monday Ubani is still here with us. Mr. Monday Ubani, good morning to you once again.
Yeah, Quadry, your brother is here.
Yeah, so let's go on with because I have loads of questions. In fact, we're leaving this conversation in a moment to go talk about the underage girls to be allowed. The plan to allow them to start voting. Let me bring this up. According to the federal government, this is a matter of national security, and according to the Constitution, as said by you yourself earlier, people have the right to own these things, and the Constitution is protecting that right till eternity. At what point do we draw the line as a legal practitioner between national security and individual rights?
Very intelligent question. Those rights that are provided for under our 1999 Constitution is not an absolute right. If there is any law that is actually made in a reasonable manner in a society to protect the welfare of others, to protect the national security, and some other overriding the national issues,
right?
The right of that individual will be subsumed under those overriding national issues. But that law must be a reasonable law.
Okay.
That is made in order to ensure that majority of lives are protected. Now, I don't have any issue, as I said earlier, with this government policy of ensuring that there is a link beautiful policy that will actually save lives, and because these criminals hide under anonymity in order to commit all manner of atrocities, having been registered wrongly without following the due process.
Right.
Now, you can easily be traced, since your database is, your name is in the database. A very good, policy, but it must be done in such a manner that nobody now loses his life, that nobody's right is violated in such a violent manner, which is actually what is going on, presently, by asking people to do this, 100 and something million people to get registered within 2 weeks or get your line deactivated. I'm saying that the rush manner, the manner with which it's been done now, without taking into cognizance the structures on ground, the infrastructures on ground, the slowness of the system is not clear. Now, they have licensed certain persons and agencies, according to even state government, according to them.
Yes.
They have not put all those particular this in operation. It's not operational yet. We have not seen how workable. We have not even seen how fast the process, they have actually put into, place is working. So that you can now say, I have put this place, into within these 2 weeks, all those people that have not been registered will be duly registered. If you have not done that, we are now saying that you don't go ahead and violate that right, because the law you must make that will subsume national interest over, sectional interest, personal interest, and constitutional interest rights must be very reasonable. Because this law now is not reasonable. That is what we're saying. It's not a reasonable law. The directive itself. It's not even a law. It is just a directive.
It's a pronouncement.
And people are even saying that part of this directive is clearly contrary to the regulator's original policy. I'm talking about NCC.
Right.
NCC has a regulation with regards to acquiring a line when you have a SIM card, how you can lose your SIM card and all that.
Right.
It's not part of the fact that if you don't have NIN registration, then you lose your SIM card and all that. There's no a substantive law that has been enacted by the National Assembly and has taken away those rights that have been entrenched in the Constitution. It's important also that if any right must be taken away by virtue of issue of national security or national interest and all that, it must be also a substantive law that is made by the National Assembly that is reasonable. But this one is just a directive from Ministry or Minister of Communication and Digital Economy or whatever they name it.
That's right. That's right.
It's a directive. It's not a substantive law that is taking away a right that is actually vested by the Nigerian Constitution that is ground norm. These rights that I've mentioned are entrenched in 1999 Constitution. It cannot be taken away by ordinary directive by a minister. You have to enact a law, and that law must be reasonable, that will subsume this national security matter you are raising now over, sectional interest. I agree that, when there is any clash between personal interest or what we call constitutional right and that of national security, the national security, overrides.
Right.
But it must be reasonable, and it also must be a substantive law that have taken away this right that is vested by the provisions of the Constitution, which is actually not what is actually happening presently. This is just a directive, and that within 2 weeks, your line will be deactivated because of the fact that you don't have NIN registration. And we know the processes and the procedure to get this NIN registration. That is not something that is our people will say it's not a more matter. It's a very serious matter that they have made so cumbersome and so this that you have not make it and complicated. It's a complicated process that if you now want people now to be registered, put structure in place and ensure that process is working, then you can go ahead and make your directive. Oh, I'm giving you this timeline within which to get registered.
Right.
2 weeks deadline. Under this present condition where we have the second wave of this COVID-19. This is not something that is actually reasonable in a society.
Let's take some thoughts before I come with my next question. We're on WhatsApp right now. This person, what's your name? Mike from Mushing says the NIN registration is now a big scam by officials across the various centers, especially in the local government. Just this morning at Surulere local government, my brother was told that only 20 people will be attended to and others will have to part with 5,000 naira to be registered. This happened this morning. Good morning. That's Mike from Mushing who put that across this morning. Mike, next time you let us know exactly the location so that authorities can go and make things right, okay? Let's know the location he put it there. He said at Surulere local government. Okay, so there you go. You have all you need. If you're listening, you have all you need to make sure that stops right away. Mike, thank you. BC from Songwater says there is BVNO, yet we still have to link everything. Instead of them to start PVC registration towards 2023, they are disguising. I believe Christmas is set for NIMC officials. Hopefully IGR will increase. ABC is getting very sarcastic there. But thank you for your thought. Appreciate it. Let's take another one from WhatsApp. Peterson is your name. He says, my contribution to the discussion is this registration of SIMs with NIN is not a guarantee to stop fraud, whether you like it or not. In the north where I stay, you don't need to register your SIM card. They sell SIM cards that are already registered here with them. Just 400 naira, you can buy an already registered SIM ready to use. Peterson, you said you are sending this in from the north. You should have told us exactly what part of the north you're sending this in from. All right, but thank you for your thought, though. I appreciate it. Obinna is here. Obinna says, my own is that there are so many of us that roamed our Nigerian line, but are living in diaspora where we can't register our SIM cards, and we use this SIM is useful for our banking transactions. Does it mean we will be left in the dark, in the cold? Yes, you'll be. Yeah, just the way you said it. Because if you don't have NIN, there's no way that you can link your SIM that you're roaming to your SIM. Exactly, Obinna. But I agree with you. Something needs to be done. Maybe at our various consulars or embassies, something needs to be done. I'm sure that something needs to be done. I'm not just sure whether it's been done already. But thank you, Obinna. But you didn't tell us exactly where you sent in that message from. What has NIMC done about their officials taking money before registration? I thought it should be free. It is free, actually. There are just unscrupulous people in the system that is making things very difficult for Nigerians. Frank is in Ikeja. Frank says, we have various means of identification, driver's license, national ID card, voter's card, then NIMC. Which one is qualified for the registration? Is your NIN. Not all of these ones. These ones, they have their own peculiar usefulness. The NIN is what is obtainable everywhere in the world. So that is what we got. We have many more messages on WhatsApp, but we just need to jump back into the conversation with Mr. Monday Ubani. My next question is this, Mr. Muslim. Oh wow, okay. I've been told that I have a caller waiting. So let's try and get this caller in, Mr. Monday Ubani. Shegun is calling us from Marina. Shegun, hi.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Nice to connect with you.
It's good to speak with you.
Yeah. You can hear me clearly, right?
Not too clearly. Your line is acting up.
Okay.
But you need to turn off your radio.
I just want to remind us that's done.
Okay.
I just want to remind us. Do you remember what happened when we were told BVN registration is going to close, and if we don't register for BVN, you won't be able to bank this and that. And this thing is something that could have been done over phases, over time. People entrench the banks, and the truth is, still have registration on as speed. But people, the crowd that mustered the banks then. I'm a bank worker. I know what we said then. And now people should go.
Shegun, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to let you go. I tried to make it work, but that's not me. That's on the network, all right? But you can try and call me back, okay, Shegun? Please do. I'd like to speak with you. Bryce Amandibani. Now, let's get on with this conversation very quickly right now. You are a lawyer. In fact, a renowned one, to be very specific, a renowned legal expert in the entire country. You know the court process. You know how long it takes to get anything out of the court in Nigeria. You have 2 weeks to get this done before lines get blocked. Do you honestly think that you can have anything concrete before the end of 2 weeks?
In fact, the process of serving this court process starts today. When they receive service of the process, they are put on notice that there is an existing court action with regards to this matter. As lawful agency of government that is subject to the jurisdiction of the court.
Okay.
They ought to hold on until the directive of deactivating people's line within 2 weeks, having known that there is an existing legal suit with regards to that matter.
Okay.
That is what I expect, these lawful and obedient government agencies to do. And so I have paid that service must be effected today to Abuja, to all the respondents in this matter. I'm talking about the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. I'm talking about the NCC. I'm talking about the Attorney General of the Federation, because I sue the federal government, and the legal representative of the federal government is the Attorney General. And so all the processes, by the grace of God, should get to them today, tomorrow, before the deadline. So they should be aware that it's an existing court. Of course, the courts will soon, in fact, most of them are vacating today or tomorrow for the Christmas holiday.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about serious legal matters starting in January, maybe second week of January, if there is no total lockdown again, as being speculated. So I think that they should be lawful and obedient enough to hold on to those whatever directive they have given until this particular issue is decided by the court. That is my thinking, and that is what I know should actually happen.
How would you describe government's response to court orders in the past? How would you describe it?
They've not been. It's not been sort of good news, especially under this present government. We have had previous government that actually paid some little bit of lip service and probably observe some of the laws of the country, but this present government say they don't obey court orders and they don't respect it. Several times there has been court orders pronounced by courts of competent jurisdiction, and we have seen situations where it is flagrantly disobeyed by this present government. So I also hope that we keep on talking and keep on saying it, that this is right thing to do
right.
for them to obey court orders. Are you following me?
I'm with you.
We are not going to give up because of the fact that there's a present government now that doesn't respect court order. That we don't go to court. The next thing is that you begin to take laws into your hand, and there will be anarchy. We cannot emphasize anarchy. We cannot encourage anarchy in the system. We must encourage the path of constitutionalism and developing our jurisprudence. So I don't have any other source of trying to attack government policy or trying to make sure that government attention is drawn to some of their wrong policy other than going through the judicial process.
My last question on this show this morning, it's on what we talked about earlier at 5 a.m. on the Morning Crossfire, and that is about the plan, the amendment of the Electoral Act. The House of Assembly Joint Committee on INEC Matters last week debated on the issue of allowing underage girls who are married, whether to allow them to vote. This was actually done by the 8th Assembly. But then the 9th Assembly is currently looking at the Constitution Amendment and the Electoral Act Amendment, by the way. And they came across this particular suggestion out of public hearing that the 8th Assembly had. What's your position on this?
It's clearly a shame for any government or any society or country to even encourage underage marriage in the first instance. Our girls ought to be in school and get properly educated. You don't encourage it because it's at the fact that they have probably done it and allow underage marriage to take place under our system that is making them now to feel guilty that these people now should be allowed to vote. We have the normal age for voting. There is a certain age that qualifies you under our constitution and under our electoral law for you to be qualified to vote. Now you have gone to disturb and disrupt the entire system by marrying somebody that is clearly underage. And what you are trying to do now is to smuggle a new provision in the Constitution that allows this person that is not qualified in the first place, who ought not to have been married in the first place, now to be qualified now to vote. To me, it is clearly shameful that people whom we have elected to represent us, and ensure that things are done properly, bending the system and bending the law and make us look like a laughing stock in the eyes of the world. I don't think that is the right thing. I think it's something that is clearly condemnable. We should stop allowing underage marriage, no matter the system, no matter the kind of system. Even where we have these religious countries, they don't even allow it. I'm talking about all these Asian nations where we have almost 90% or 99% are, Muslim. They have abolished all those issues of underage marriage. So we should not encourage it here if we really want to make progress. So it is the act of it's their guilty conscience that is worrying them, because they have started a system that is actually wrong. So the only way to accommodate it is now amend the law in order to probably free themselves from their guilty conscience. It's a wrong procedure. It's a wrong law. It's a wrong system that should not in any way be receive any clapping of hands from Nigerians. Right.
Mr. Monday Ubani, thank you so much for joining us on the Crossfire today. It's always a pleasure. And we wish you best of luck in your case.
It's always my pleasure speaking with you. The questions are too intelligent. Sometimes I wonder whether you are a lawyer or a journalist. But at the same time, I really enjoy having conversation with you always. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Monday Bani. Do have a great one. So, Lagos, there you go. The show today. I have your thoughts on Facebook and YouTube. I would try and take them, but I need to try as well to see if we can give out 10,000 naira this morning before time runs out on us. If I start taking the messages now, we may not be able to, give out 10,000 naira. It's the holiday season. Happy holidays to you. So let's see if we can give out 10,000 naira, shall we?
This is Just a Minute on 99.3 Nigeria FM.
The number is 0700 993 993 993. On Just a Minute, we ask regular questions, simple questions, questions you're familiar with, as simple as ABC, because the intention is to make sure that you win the money. Let's see who is lucky enough. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Halima.
Halima, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mowe, in Ogun State.
Halima, you want to play Just a Minute?
Okay, yes.
All right. Halima, let's play Just a Minute.
This is Just a Minute.
This is your first question. What is Nigeria Info's Instagram handle?
Skip.
Who was my guest this morning on the Crossfire?
Okay, Barrister Monday Ubani.
Correct. What did we discuss at 5 a.m. on the Chit Chat this morning on the Crossfire?
Skip.
Name 3 OAPs that took part in last Friday's Nigeria Info Roundtable.
Okay, Nehita was there.
Okay.
Sheriff Quadry, Joyce, Wemimo. Okay.
It's okay, Halima. It's okay, off your mic. My next question to you this morning is name the Nigeria Info's website.
Okay, www.nigeriainfo.fm.
Correct, Halima. You're doing very, very well. Now, let's move on to the next question. How many NIN, or how many Nigerians, rather, have been registered for NIN?
Skip.
Okay. Now, how many people are yet to register for NIN?
Skip.
Okay. Halima, well, congratulations to you. You got 3 questions correctly. Stay on the line. Your details will be retrieved from you right now. So, Lagos, this is how far we were able to go on the show today. Many thanks to everybody that took part in the show. We have a repeat broadcast of Table Talk for you as Wemimo is currently enjoying herself somewhere in the far, far, far away land. So stay tuned for a repeat of the Table Talk show with Wemimo. It comes out every Monday from 9 to 10. I'm Sheriff Quadry. I'm online. Let's talk. Online at Sheriff Quadry on Twitter, at Sheriff Quadry on Instagram, and at Sheriff Quadry on LinkedIn. I expect to hear from you. In the meantime, stay here on the nation's #1 talk station, Nigeria Info.
You are listening to your #1 station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio.